Hey, MVP here. Just a very quick update on last week's trading activity, and then perhaps a couple of other comments for people. Hope you had a good trading week last week. It was certainly volatile. Okay, what you're looking at here is a 1-hour chart. It's a 500 FX correlator setting. Go to my trade to win thread to understand what that means. What this does is it gives you an idea of each of these currencies here, where they're actually moving. There's no distortion really. If the currency goes up, that means you should be buying it. If the currency goes down, you should be selling it. It's really that simple. Okay, if you read and follow the markets, you'll know it was a very, very volatile last week. The significant winner in the first half of the week, and I've split it into two. This is the coming into the week last week on the 5th. This is going out on the 12th. Split it into two halves, and you can see it really was a week of two halves. The clue to why this happened is the world markets. Here's the Dow. This is the Dow futures here on a 1-hour. You can see that in the first half of the week we had significant, even though there was a retrace here, we had significant falls to the middle of the week. And then in the second half of the week, going through into Thursday, Friday, we saw the Dow markets, the Dow and the other markets recover quite significantly, almost coming back to where they came in. So that was why it was a week of two halves. In the first half of the week, with a fall in equity market generally, what happened is what you'd expect to see. You expect to see currencies which are safe havens improving in value, and there's the Swissy significantly improving in value. You also see the yellow yen here doing relatively well. Dollar was pretty flat. That's because the dollar's been impacted by just about every other kind of economic news and activity as well. So the dollar wasn't as bullish as we'd hope, and most other currencies were either flat or falling. So that was the obvious story. First half of the week. Second half of the week it got much more interesting. Not only did the equity market start to recover, but the Swiss National Bank decided they were going to do everything in its power to start reducing the value of its currency. And they did, as you can see here. They flooded the market with, I think it was about $50 billion dollars or equivalent dollars worth of funding to get their banks out there and start affecting bond rates, just about everything else. What they also did is said that they may peg the Swissy to the euro. I'm not sure where that story came from, but that's not going to make people happy. So they certainly did well. And actually, the Swissy came off weaker second half of the week than it started. So that really worked for them. It won't last long. Believe me, that will be back. As soon as equities start to, struggle this week, people will be back on buying the Swissy because, look, it's come off in value. So why not bring it back up here again? Not really going to go into too much regarding the rest of the currencies because it really was the Swissy that was the big news last week. Commodity dollars, commodity currencies fell first half, picked up second half following the curve of the equity market. And we had some players really that were sitting in between. The pound moved up and down. The euro, despite quite a lot of talk, was pretty flat during the week, and so was the pound. Okay, let's have a quick look and see what the 80-20 system did this week. If you follow my thread, you'll know that I have a very, very simple relatively robust and relatively reliable system that I run, just to give people an example of what you can do with this. Okay, this is the 1-hour. This is an 80 setting here, 80 moving average setting. This is a 20 moving average setting. This is the week last week. And again, I've got it alongside the US dollar, the US 30, the US futures. And really, what we do here is very, very simple. First half of the week, if you remember, I said that this is the 20 and the 80 SMA. So the Dow was generally spent a lot of time below it, actually. It certainly did on the Wednesday, as you can see, below both, and on the Monday it did. And that's where I'll be hunting buys on the yen and the dollar. And as you can see, the yen and the dollar here, both above, significantly above their 80 and 20s on Monday. So we were buying them and selling any other currencies that came along, you see here. See here, into the US session, there's some big sales on the Aussie dollar and the Kiwi dollar, as we said, as I showed you earlier. A little bit of recovery on Tuesday because the market recovered, and then Wednesday again I was expecting to see a similar pattern. Took a little while, but it did. You see that popping up there? The dollar pops up, and again we're into action here. So again, some nice sales. Big sell on the New Zealand dollar there, you can see. So that was a predominant sell. That was a predominant trade on Wednesday. Thursday things were a little bit scrappy. Look how it popped up there, so there was possibly some activity there, popped up both sides. But again, I'm always trying to monitor alongside here, just to see what this market's doing. I do like my Dow futures to support my moves here. Thursday, really, even though there was significant rise here, driving Dow through the day. I really was hoping that I'd see some sells, but as you can see, the 80, I know it's a little bit difficult. The 80 never came off, so I really wasn't into any moves there. Although you can see that if you were a follower of the Swissy, look at the moves here on the Swissy. The Swissy actually was stealing most of the pips that these guys should have been down here. So if you were just following the Swissy, say, against this as a strategy, you would have done very well, selling the Swissy against just about everything as the Dow and equity markets moved upwards globally. Okay, so that's pretty much what happened in the week. I just wanted now to respond to a post on my Trade to Win thread where someone said that they weren't that comfortable with comparing the Dow or the equities markets with my 80/20 system. So in response to that, let's just show you something here. Okay, what I'm actually showing you here is the same as I've just the same chart. This is on a 1 hour. This is a 20. Okay, this is a 20 moving average. What I've done here is I've isolated the movements we saw last week on the familiar guys. This is the yen. This is the dollar. See them moving up and down. I don't know if I've got it there, but let's just bring that across again for a second, and I'll just prove that. You see here. Do you remember at the start of the week, we saw things moving up. Here it is moving up. Let me just shorten this a little bit for you, just give you an idea. Okay, now we're batting. See, so it's moving up, moving down, moving down. So just to show that I'm not faking this. This is the 80/20, which is actually this. So this is the same. But what I've done here is I've overlaid the Dow futures on the chart. So what you're seeing here is what I've put here against the 20. So now you can really compare and see, do these things really correlate together or lack of correlate? And as you can see, the answer is, I think, yes, without going into too much detail. So as you can see here, when we have the Dow generally driving downwards, it will drive these guys up. Look at the reversal here. As soon as it starts to turn here, start to come upwards, look at these guys come off. So there's trading. Again, see, it's quite spooky, isn't it? See how they switch here? Switch again, and this is where we got into the last fight. That was where things, as I said, for me, I was struggling a little bit. I saw a very, very aggressive rise on the Dow futures here. But as you can see, these guys didn't fall. They should have fallen, shouldn't they? Every time we saw other activity like this, these guys, here's a big drive up here, they come down. And again, do you remember I said the reason? The reason they didn't fall here, because this guy stepped in. Currency, it's all about knowing what the currencies are doing in currency selection, okay? So it's not as simple as just buying and selling and using 80/20s and when Dow is up. You do have to, there are some more subtleties and sophistication around these systems, and that's why this is just an introduction. What I show you on my Trade to Win site is just an introduction. There are huge amounts more things you can incorporate, correlation, sophistication, and blending of currencies to really give you that best approach to making money in this very, very tough market. But anyway, this is MVP signing up. I hope you have a great trading week this week. Just use a simple system. There's no need to get complicated like I'm showing you here. Use a simple system, get familiar with it, and then start to incorporate your own ideas and strategies, because that's what it's all about, experimenting and researching and finding what works for you. Okay, I'm going to have a good week, and I'm working very well with a really good program at the moment, and trader who joined us or joined me recently the last couple of weeks, really making some great breakthroughs at the moment. I'm really pleased with that. So thanks again, Gaddy. You're doing a fantastic job, mate, and we'll talk a lot this week. Okay, everyone, have a good trading week. MVP signing off. Bye.